Hey guys, welcome back. We have a midweek energy update that we need to get into. We are in a very karmic week. Wednesday and Thursday of this week, we have both the Sun and Mercury transiting the sign of Virgo, coming into alignment with the south node of the moon. That is the point of karmic release. I'm telling you, there could be some things from the past that are highlighted, that are relevant throughout the course of the week, things that are coming back around for some reason, things that are undone, things that are seeking resolution or coming to completion, or that we are fixing or no longer procrastinating on. We also have some activated black moon energy going on out there. People could be emotionally triggered, especially on Wednesday. We have the moon squaring Pluto as well. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some power struggles, possessiveness, jealousy, maybe just some more turbulent or tumultuous emotional connections taking place. But we also have this energy that is supporting our ability to kind of get to the root of some of these issues, heal, release, move on, recover, and reorient our own energy body in a way that is not going to continue to perpetuate these patterns. There's a major pattern breaking energy going on out there this week, and I do think that between the south node activations and the black moon, and we also have a strong Chiron influence building over this next couple of days, I think that we are really being given an opportunity to actively heal or integrate or recover from some maybe old issues that have been keeping us in these perpetuating patterns that maybe are no longer contributing to our growth. So we've got a really kind of like powerful recipe for maybe some personal integration or alchemization going on this week. I think that's the best way we can use this energy, and we've got some things to talk about, you guys. So let's get into the report, put all this together, see if we can get an idea of our energetic state as we move through the midpoint of our week this week and where we're going as we prepare to enter the weekend. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, and if you guys stick with me until the end of this report, I have done a collective tarot reading for us today as well. I like to tap the energy field from more than one modality whenever I'm doing these energy overviews, just to get an alternative energetic perspective on what's going on out there. So there could be some messages in there for you. We're doing that at the end. A whole bunch of astrology to get into, as I mentioned in my intro. This is a very karmic week, and there is just likely to be an emphasis on the past, on what we're releasing or letting go of, or what is ending, and the changes that we are making maybe as a result. Now, I've been sort of going on and on and on about this ever since that full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces that we had over this past weekend, because that was a major theme of that eclipse as well. But with Mercury, the messenger planet, this is what we're thinking about. This is where our mind is oriented. This is what is like capturing our attention. This is what we're focused on. And the sun, obviously, like this is the galactic cosmic highlighter on the south node, that point of karmic release. Like, it just seems quite unavoidable this week to like not be thinking about or focused on or experiencing in a more prominent way something related to the past, or what we're letting go of, or what's coming to an end, or cycles that have been repeating. Another thing this is doing, right? Like, this is in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. That's the ruler of the sign. Very, very powerful mercurial influence. The south node, this is like what we're no longer doing. Mercury is what we're thinking about. This is thought patterning in the sign of Virgo. I would not be surprised if there is some type of spontaneous, or maybe it's not spontaneous, maybe it has been sort of a process that's been going on over this past couple of days or past couple of weeks, but it seems like the way that we are thinking about things or thinking about something is likely to change, and the way, or like the impact of that change is going to have a ripple effect that like changes, again, like the output or the way that things are turning out, or like what we're getting out of something, what the results are. And with a South Node in Virgo, like this is about some type of upgrade in relation to the lifestyle, the routines, the patterns, the habits, the day-to-day life. I feel like this is an energy that is trying to make ultimately like our systems more efficient and more productive, like down to the thought patterns that are responsible for establishing those systems that are operating. And of course, this can be like extrapolated to a million different examples and areas of life and ways of expression. But the input is changing here. It's going to change the output, and this could just have a lot to do with things from the past. And now this could be people from the past. This could also have to do with siblings or like extended family situations, with it being Mercury. This could be like things being released or revealed or uncovered as well, like old information, old messages suddenly being seen in a new light or gaining a new relevance or coming back around in a way that is somehow impactful in the moment now. But also the end result here, you guys, is this release, this culmination, this completion, this moving on from something. This is about breaking cycles that have not been getting us the results that universe wants us to be getting at this point in time. So that is a general vibe out there, a general theme that is likely to be very relevant throughout the course really of this entire eclipse window, but I would say centering in on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, because those are the days when the sun on Wednesday and then Thursday into Friday, actually Mercury will make that exact alignment. Now, healing, as I mentioned in my intro, there's also an energy I feel like that is highlighting this the theme of healing and recovery as well. This is, of course, because we do have this strong Virgo influence right now. Virgo is a sign associated with the healer, and Mercury and the sun there with the South Node. This could definitely be learning how or gaining information pertaining to how to heal old wounds or old issues, perpetuating patterns that we had been operating in or within as a result of that. So we've got the pattern breaking energy going on right now. Even more focused down specifically into thought patternings or beliefs, also patterns of thought and belief that had been sort of like our baseline programming. These things are up for changes and edits in this energy. And then we've also got this energy coming through this week that is assisting and facilitating perhaps our ability to do some active healing, active integration, active release maybe of some of these past issues. And then we also have the black moon energy going on, triggering fears, worries, insecurities, doubts, emotional projections. Some people could definitely be dealing with some emotional triggers throughout the course of this week as well. So in terms of the themes, the energetic themes that are most likely to be prominent throughout the course of this week, I would say the changing patterns thing. I would say the healing and recovering, maybe learning about ways to heal or recover vibe, and also these emotional triggers, shadow side issues being highlighted or relevant as well. This could also be when we focus specifically on the like Virgo element, Mercury, Sun, South Node. This could be about cleaning or getting organized or getting rid of things on a more mundane level, like actual physical like overhauls of our workspace or our living environment, upgrades and makeovers. This is an earth sign energy, and when there are major activations happening in earth signs, I often find that they are like physically happening in the world around us. So I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of people are actually getting rid of things like paperwork, reorganizing like their desk and stuff like that. There could also be like overhauls to like rules and things to do with school or scholastic, this, that, or the other, or like education, teachers, communicators, educators. There could be procedures, protocols, systems, rule changes that are somehow highlighted in that regard as well. And the last kind of theme that is highlighted throughout the course of this week is a very prominent Jupiterian energy that we've got going on right now. Also, Jupiter is making contacts to like all kinds of planets out there this week. Jupiter is in a very tight trine to the north node of the moon, sextile to the south node of the moon. Jupiter is coming out of square to Mars. Jupiter is also, of course, sextile the sun and Mercury as they conjoin the south node this week because of that sextile to the south node. The moon is also going to sextile Jupiter. Jupiter will be on Thursday, the midpoint of an earth sign trine that's going on between the moon and Taurus, trining Mercury and the sun and the south node in the sign of Virgo. If you've been, and I do think we'll talk about the energy of Thursday in a minute, but I do think, you know, if Wednesday feels a little bit emotionally rough or emotionally bumpy, Thursday is probably going to be a smoother glide or a smoother ride. We're probably going to feel better about whatever it is that we know we need to do, the job that needs to be done, what we need to get rid of, what we need to clean up, what we need to fix, what we need to let go of, what we need to like detach ourselves from. There is emotional support for this process for sure that is coming through on Thursday, but on Wednesday we are just in a bit of like an emotional kind of pickle out there, I would say, between the moon conjoining Chiron in the sign of Aries opposite Mars. That right there can bring some conflicting feelings, inner irritation, kind of presses on our wounds a little bit, might make us feel kind of raw or vulnerable. It can bring up like victim complexes. And then after the moon leaves Aries, the moon will enter Taurus, activate the black moon, and immediately form a square to Pluto. This can also like spawn victim perpetrator situations and complexes. There can often be like powerful emotional power struggles that we find ourselves in, a lot of emotional intensity, possessiveness, jealousy, competitiveness when we've got a moon Pluto square, and especially with the black moon in Scorpio being activated. And then when we bring that Chiron moon element into it as well and opposed Mars, it could just again like be a little bit rough out there in the energy of Wednesday. Mars is in the sign of Libra. This could be relationship conflicts, hurt feelings, financial situations, feelings of vulnerability, as I said, maybe feeling like just attacked or under attack somehow for some reason. And it could, Chiron is retrograde, Mercury and the sun are conjunct the south node. This could be emphasizing or just highlighting or emotionally aligning us with maybe some old wound or some old trauma, and it could just be very clear to us maybe how that has impacted who we are now, how our life is now, the issues that we have now, or we may just be coming to understand or gain a greater like internal realization that these things maybe aren't healed within us, and maybe that is keeping us in these perpetuating cycles or habits or patterns that we are realizing that we need to stop doing in this energy. Because again, Mercury in the south node, like thinking about what I need to stop, like thinking about what I'm not gonna keep doing, thinking about what needs to come to an end, thinking about what I'm no longer going to allow myself to participate in. And then we've got that moon Chiron. It's like, what has been hurting me? What has been wounding me? What has been causing my pain? Like, what is the source of the issue? Where did it come from? And then also that Virgo energy and that Chiron energy, both of them are about the healer, right? And both of them have to do with like learning how to practically heal the problem and the wisdom that we gain from going through that process. So figuring out where it's coming from, what do I do to stop it? And then how is that going to impact the way that I'm doing things, my habits, my patterns, my schedules, and what changes do I need to make to accommodate these deeper changes that I'm making within myself as a result of gaining this awareness, figuring out what the issue is, and learning how to solve the problem, fix the problem. When we combine all of these themes, right, and I'm going to talk more about the black moon energy that we have going on as we move through the report. But this feels like to me a powerful window of alchemy and integration of the shadow, especially when we do combine in that Jupiterian influence that is also so prominent this week. Remember, Jupiter, this is our blessings, this is our growth, this is where we are expanding. Jupiter's trying the North Node right now. Like, Jupiter is speaking to a very prominent collective vibration centered around spiritual growth or expansion and blessings that come through our ability to open to a broader perspective, a higher truth, to surrender to our faith, to embrace and cultivate our relationship to a higher power. Like, there is something about our gains coming right now through our trust and our faith and our ability to expand our perspective and develop a stronger spiritual connection as a facet of whatever these thought patterns or routines or lifestyle changes are also taking place. And again, like, that also is facilitating our ability to gain wisdom from whatever we may be healing in this moment, whatever we may be changing in this moment, whatever cycles we may be breaking in this moment. That is where the gifts and the blessings come from, our ability to be successful in ending a way of being that has been like our base programming for an extended period of time that has been getting us a certain result. This is when we really have an opportunity to reconfigure that base program, and growth, blessings, purpose, abundance, gifts, a broadened perspective, like spiritual guidance, spiritual truth, spiritual knowing, spiritual connection, divine union. Like, this is the reward for the work that we're doing right now on making these subtle, detailed programming changes deep within the depths of our own psyche when we're talking about black moon going on and also the moon squaring Pluto. So I would say Wednesday is probably going to be a more complex, maybe a little darker oriented, maybe even a bit more messy day than Thursday. With the sun on Wednesday, the sun will be exactly conjunct the South Node. Again, as I think I said in the beginning of the report, like, this could be actually cleaning up some mess or dealing with some dirty job or something that we've been putting off or procrastinating on for some reason. Like, this is the moment that we need to deal with that, get it done for one reason or another. This is a great week, great day on Wednesday and Thursday for decluttering any space, cleaning, reorganizing your house or your workspace specifically. Make changes to systems and spaces and routines and schedules that make things more effective, more efficient. This is about minimalizing, of course, as well, getting rid of stuff, the release valve, the flush, downsizing, streamlining, do things and make changes that are making your life easier and making your outcome more in alignment with what you're putting in, making your time spent more purposeful. And for many people, honestly, not barely anybody really follows astrology and pays attention to this type of stuff that's going on, and a lot of people are just naturally going to be inclined and oriented to be doing these types of things or activities as we move through this energy this week. They are maybe just naturally going to learn something or gain an awareness of something also that shifts their thoughts, shifts their behavior, and as a result of that, changes the way that they are doing things, and as a result of that, changes the outcome that they are getting. So Thursday, I do think, let's talk a little bit about Thursday now, probably going to be a much more emotionally calm, stable, harmonious day than the energy that we've got going on Wednesday. We do have a Taurus moon, you guys. The moon generally likes to be in the sign of Taurus. There can be a sense of emotional stability, security, peace, comfort that comes from this placement. The only problem with it right now is that, of course, when the moon enters Taurus, it immediately squares Pluto, and because Taurus is, resources, material possessions, money and stuff, people can definitely be going at it over, projects, partnerships, finances, assets. Like, there could be some power struggles, people wanting to dominate and be in charge in situations, maybe some more tumultuous relationship stuff going on as we have the early degree Taurus moons. But the black moon also right now being in the sign of Scorpio, of course, is one of our 2 times each month when we are more likely to feel the energy associated with the shadow side nature of the black moon. The black moon generally functions in polarities. So when the moon is in the sign where the black moon is, or the sign opposing the black moon, right now the black moon is transiting through Scorpio. So Scorpio or Taurus lunar phases each month. This is when we are more likely to feel the impacts of like the fears, worries, insecurities, doubts in the sign of Scorpio, particularly possessiveness, competitiveness, and the fear of loss that could be like driving a lot of the emotional projections and just maybe more toxic ways that people are acting and behaving when we've got this particular type of energy emphasized. Another thing about the black moon right now and this week specifically, even though like I generally only consider the black moon in terms of planets conjoining it or opposing it, we do have the black moon activated by the moon in opposition. So we're in black moon energy on Wednesday and Thursday, and the black moon actually is basically in like a perfect trine with the north node of the moon and Jupiter right now, which is another very interesting energetic dynamic, which I normally wouldn't consider, again, because the black moon generally is felt specifically in regards to the conjunction or opposition. But as the black moon is being activated by that moon in the sign of Taurus, the moon in Taurus on Thursday is also sextiling Jupiter, and Jupiter is trying the north node in Pisces, and then the black moon in Scorpio is like at that exact same degree range. This is another element to me, if I were to interpret that I would consider as like an ability to gain or an enhanced ability to gain a greater awareness of some of our like deep subconscious psychic issues and complexes in a way that helps us to like heal, to grow, to release, and to move forward. It's another very like alchemizing energy, because Jupiter, this is the truth, and this is like it's giving us an ability to really gain a broader perspective. Like it's expanding our vision and our ability to see what is going on in terms of that like black moon shadow side issue, emotional trigger, fears, worries, insecurities type of energy. Like we can gain a true like greater understanding of the depth of the psyche and the powerful complexes that reside there that we are often unaware of and drive behavior. And then with the north node there as well, it's like the truth will set you free. Like this is where the spiritual growth comes from, our ability to gain this awareness and then to like grow out of it, or to overcome it, or to like apply wisdom to it in a way that helps us to move beyond that with the north node there. So that is another kind of dimension of the energy this week that is leaning on the integrating the shadow and like alchemizing some of these like old wounds that may have been holding us in these holding patterns or these perpetuating cycles or patterns that had been preventing or blocking or stifling growth that is necessary right now for one reason or another. Another way to just, I guess, kind of like crack ourselves out of our own subconscious patterning through gaining some higher or broader or expanded sense of awareness. So that to me is another indicator that this is a very good week to do some shadow work. We of course are still likely to have a level of emotional intensity going on with this black moon energy on Thursday. The moon in Taurus is also squaring Venus in Leo. That could be bringing up some fears of loss or insecurity, maybe in terms of relationships or financial dynamics or creativity. But I do think for a large portion of people, the trine between the moon in Taurus and the sun and Mercury in the south node in the sign of Virgo is going to help us to feel a bit better, or maybe like just a bit more secure or a bit more at peace in terms of whatever we're learning, whatever is changing, whatever we're releasing, whatever we're getting rid of. This is the thoughts and the feelings, the moon and Mercury, and also the sun, the soul and the spirit. We are kind of like all aligned, all on the same page with ourselves. In the energy of Thursday, it's like thoughts and the feelings working together in a state of harmony regarding whatever it is, whatever task needs to be done, or edit, or alteration, or ending, whatever needs to go on, whatever needs to take place. I just feel like we are more able to do it, and like everything's probably going to be okay in the energy of Thursday. And then when we add Jupiter also as the midpoint in that energy, Jupiter in Cancer is in a sextile to both the moon in Taurus and also the sun and Mercury in the south node in the sign of Virgo. Of course, that is something that we've been talking about, the Jupiter in aspect to the nodes, for a while now. But one of the reasons why we may be feeling better about things, considering the position of Jupiter right there, could be some type of elevated perspective that maybe just washes over us somehow. Something may suddenly click and all of a sudden make sense, and we just get it, and we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I don't love it, but I feel okay about it now. This could also be some sudden gain and like a greater knowing or big picture understanding that comes through, some spiritual experience or encounter that may elevate our thinking or elevate our perspective in regards to something somehow. Also, it could be growth or expansion that maybe goes on within the home or the family that makes some process of ending or completing or resolving something a little bit easier. But it just seems like, or maybe it's the truth of something that makes the process of letting go easier, but it just seems like something that goes on, or that we're coming to understand, or that we're coming to see, or that we are gaining a greater awareness of, is facilitating our ability to be okay with whatever these endings are. Maybe it's just an enhanced level of faith or trust in the unfolding process that's altering our thought patterns, how we're thinking about it and how we're feeling about it. But there does seem to be some sense of inner peace or stability or harmonization going on Thursday surrounding whatever changes are simultaneously taking place. Thursday is also the day of the exact Mercury South Node conjunction, actually Thursday into Friday, later the day into Thursday into Friday. You may actually hear from someone from the past. There could be like unfinished business coming back around, karmic messages, relationships, ties, karmic interpersonal cycles that are prominent, highlighted, relevant, coming up for one reason or another. But again, like, this is also this karmic mental detox and putting an end to something that has been lingering past its point of expiration. You could also just be focused on the past, or what doesn't work, or what is unhealed, or what is not perfect, or what is not right. This is, if you guys watched my Monday video, I was talking about how this is kind of honestly like a bit of a more pessimistic energy. The South Node is like the drain on things, and Mercury is what we're thinking about. It can tend towards pessimism, towards focusing on failure, on what's not working, on the losses, on the victimization, on what we don't have, and on what is not right. Because why, you guys? Because this whole energy is about showing us what the problem is so that we can make changes to no longer have to deal with that problem to the same extent. And like, if it's not in our face like that, it's going to be a lot harder to make those changes that God, Great Spirit, universe, a higher power is for whatever reason requiring of us in our lives right now. So you may find yourself just kind of more in a pessimistic mindset, focused on failure, like things colored through a layer of pessimism. Even with that Jupiter energy also, like, I have described the impact of the Jupiter and the moon in Taurus is likely to be a more positive feature of our week. But another thing, another angle that we have to consider is Jupiter just makes things bigger. Like, yes, Jupiter tends towards the brighter side and what's more positive, and the like the optimism and the hope and the faith end of things. But if we're really focused in on the negative and how everything's falling apart and like woe is me, and like a pity party, and like just really feeling bad about everything, and just really narrowly zoned in on all the reasons why things can't work for us, that moon in Taurus is likely to just expand that energy as well. So if we are, and then when we've got the black moon going on, when we are kind of caught up in maybe feelings of loss or competitiveness, jealousy, projection, insecurity, this too could be amplified. So enhanced levels of depression, pessimism, like the victim failure complexes. The moon could be equally facilitating that type of thing on Thursday as well, if that is where we are mentally oriented. Trines, that's like a free flow of energy, and the sextile with Jupiter right there, that is an assistive, supportive aspect as well. So Jupiter is making things bigger. It's just is the faith in the process, and that things are moving in the right directions, and that these endings right now are going to lead to blessed new beginnings. Like, is that our focus? Is that our thought pattern that is kind of spinning around back there? Or are we really caught in some cycle or spiral of how like gloomy everything is, and that is what is being amplified and projected back to us? It really could go either way. So I'm saying position of the North Node this week, the symbolic position, 19 degrees of the sign of Pisces, where the North Node is. That Sabian symbol is a master instructing his disciple. This is a really good week where we do have a very cosmically supported opportunity to make some true gains in figuring some things out and mastering some of our past issues, breaking ourselves out of some of these past cycles that have not been contributing to our growth or success. A position of the South Node where all these conjunctions are taking place, that's a swimming race. So, you know, navigating these emotional currents of things and trying to get ahead, trying to win, trying to have victory over the emotions or within a very like emotionally intense environment, climate, situation, whatever. So I say you guys focus on alchemy this week and you will get more of that with better results. Use negative feedback from the universe, even if it seems like it is immersive in terms of your entire reality right now. Use it to discern what is not working, what needs to change, and do your best to actually make some physical changes this week, whether it is just reorganizing something, you know, even small changes. Virgo is about the little details, but this has to do with the energy, the way that we're doing things, and the results that we're getting because of that. Virgo is the sign of the harvest. It's like, how does the energy that we are putting in translate into the fruits of our labor? And if we are not getting the results that we should be getting, or we would expect to be getting, or that we would like to be getting, what do we need to change to make that happen? And if you find yourself sort of like at a loss about what to do to make the like necessary changes that you need to right now, either, you know, the way that all this is coming together, that trine also on Thursday, like things could just be happening. Like you may not even really have to lift a finger or do much at all. Like things just literally may fall into place, fall into your lap, happen on their own that help facilitate that process somehow. Or don't forget, we are building right now into a Mercury Sun exact conjunction. And when we have an exact alignment between Mercury and the Sun, that is when we are said to gain a piece of missing information, gain some clarity, gain some insight. It's like a light bulb moment, and it is happening in the same sign of Virgo. It is happening still in a conjunction to the South Node. So even if you do find yourself at a loss, honestly, and it could feel that way, the South Node is about loss and ending. So Mercury there, like you may find yourself like in that place throughout the course of the week. Do not despair, you guys. Keep the faith, keep your focus on the bigger vision this week. Have faith, you know, surrender what it is that you can't control right now and do what you can to make small changes. And it is very possible that there could be some like revelation or something revealed or some missing piece of information or some flash of insight or light bulb moment that does come through in the energy of Sunday. One final note, we do also have Venus and Mars in a sextile that is building in the sky right now. This is going to be active for the next couple of days. A generally supportive energy for conflict resolution, passionate and energized connections, creativity. So there could be some of that going on out there that's touching your life or experience as well somehow. Venus and Mars are also both at interesting symbols in terms of their degree placement on Wednesday. Venus is at 20 degrees of the sign of Leo. American Indians perform a ritual to the sun. And Mars is at 23 degrees of Libra. Chanticleer's voice heralds the rising sun with exuberant tones. So maybe spend some time in the sunshine this week or giving thanks for the little things. I find it interesting that there's like this emphasis on the sun worshippers, and the rooster heralding the sunrise with enthusiastic tones. As the sun is conjoining with the south node of the moon, which would be the point where essentially it has the most diminished light because the south node is the flush. So I don't know, maybe again, like having gratitude for the little things, spending some time in the sun, or as we emerge out of the energy of Wednesday in this next couple of days in this current eclipse season, things could seem a bit more bright. It could feel like we're coming back to life on some level after we move through this period of time. So that's what I got for the astrology today, you guys. That's what I have to say. That's what I think is going on out there. In terms of our tarot reading, I'm like chuckling a little bit because look at what we've got coming through on the back of the deck, literally the Four of Pentacles in reverse. That has to do with what we are releasing, what we are letting go of, what we have been holding on to maybe for dear life, but we gotta get rid of for whatever reason at this point in time. So we have more energy coming through indicating being at a point of release, a point of surrender, a point of letting go, a point of relinquishing something. And then the cards that we had coming out, we've got the Queen of Cups, and we've also got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. There seems to be a need for some like emotional maturity, emotional regulation, coming from a point of emotional self-empowerment or gaining true power through our ability to control our emotions somehow, trusting our intuition, cultivating our spiritual connection. And again, like maybe that is what we need to lean into if it feels like all of our efforts in the material world just like aren't working out, aren't paying off. Another vibe that's going on out there this week, and I mean, I've kind of been talking about this in all of my past recent videos. There is with this Virgo South Node energy, there can be like a vibe that has to do with the input not equaling the output, like the investments not paying off, like the effort not translating into success, and the feeling of failure or like being hyper zoned in on what's not working, like despite our best efforts that could come as a result of that. I feel like that is kind of what is being described in this energy, like the Page of Pentacles in reverse, like not being able to get something off the ground, like not being able to translate the vision into a form of material progress, like not being able to get the ball rolling, like move things forward in a way that is like actually creating physical tangible results. But this is saying like the Queen of Cups, this is about receptivity, this is about aligning with our emotions, this is about trust and faith and spiritual connection and the ability to open to receive on even like a greater level. So I don't know, you guys, there could be, you know, issues with self-doubt, issues with feelings of failure, issues with like feeling like we're not enough or we're not good enough or we're never going to be able to make it happen, make it work in terms of something, somehow, somewhere. I feel like the message coming through here is, though, to like maintain the faith, to like not forget who we really are and what we're really capable of, and how powerful of a creator we truly are, despite the little things that may be off or flawed or not working right now. And I guess I'm saying to retain our sense of personal power from our ability to control and to regulate our emotions, and to see things from that bigger picture, and to trust and follow our intuition right now, and maybe not judge ourselves so much by whether or not we're making huge gains, huge progress in this energy. Be able to let go of some things also. So that seems to be, at least to me, how our tarot is coming together for us today. Let's get a synchronicity card now. I am going to get one final piece of guidance or advice, asking God, Great Spirit, Universe, to tell us something that we need to hear, show us the way, give us a message. As always, when we are dealing with these cards, our message is right on point. It says you will be guided. Jupiter trine the North Node in Pisces, like spiritual guidance, divine assistance, answered prayers, it's all there, but we just kind of like have to believe in it and try our best to maintain our orientation in that direction while we move through this energy. Sent his angel to show the things which shortly must be done, Revelation 22:6. Shortly you will be shown the direction you should take, the way will open up for you to move forward. Seize the opportunity that comes to you. Know you are being divinely guided. Listen to the voice within for guidance. Exactly. You know, trust your intuition. The opportunity may not be present in this moment, because this moment is not about the gains. This moment is about what we've got to let go of, to release, or to learn, or to change in order to get to that process of making those gains, or making those gains real in our experience. But we need to trust the process. Things are heading in that direction, and that is just what all the cues and indications seem to be reaffirming to me. So you will be guided, you guys. Message from the stars, message from the cards. That's what I have to say today. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys, share it with your friends if you think that they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments, let me know what's going on with you out there. If you are having experiences that align or with or reflect what I'm talking about in these videos, tell me about it. Drop me a comment, let me know for sure. That's very valuable information to me. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group where I post the full image of those boards. That's where you can find that, linked in my description box below. And come back with me on Friday, you guys. We got a whole weekend energy overview that we need to get into, and we have a Mercury Cazimi coming up, conjunct the South Node. We've been referring to it all week as this Mercury Sun moving through Virgo, hitting the South Node energy has transpired, but we do have that light bulb moment coming up, and I will be back to talk all about it. So you don't want to miss it, and I will see you next time. You guys have a beautiful midpoint of your week, and until then, bye.